tonight?
Am I? That's some things we got to get fixed up.
You getting a little extra work with the freshmen out there?
Yeah, making sure they know what our expectations are around here.
When you look at the first, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, or whatever, gone through a lot of injuries, 2 quarterbacks, 2 centers, Yahoo Sports Report. What have the 6 weeks been like for you?
It is a lot of injuries. I don't know if I've ever had this many. It seems like before. I'm sure we have, but it just seems like a lot. Injuries in the secondary, injuries on the line, and running back, quarterback, everywhere. And but you know what? I mean, that's what I do. And fortunately, with our program, I try to prepare a lot of guys to get ready to go. We recruit guys to come play. And a lot of guys have gotten opportunities that maybe weren't thinking they were going to get opportunities, and they've taken advantage of them and done a great job.
If I told you all those injuries and all those kind of situations that happened, say in August, where would you think you would be now?
Well, I don't know. I'm sure I would say, hey, I hope somebody steps up and next guy steps in and does their job. And, and that's where it is. It's always hard. You never know when you come into a season, right? I mean, I was looking at the teams we face and it showed 28-10 or something, and one of the hardest schedules in the country. You might not have thought like the first half of our schedule actually, opponent record-wise, is tougher than the second half of our schedule. No one would have gone and guessed that.
And a 1 to 2 game difference between the second half of the schedule, though, so it's not like we're playing.
It's not. It doesn't soften up all that much for us, but. So I mean, that's part of what it is. But you didn't know and that's all going to play out when the season starts.
Have you seen guys step up like you were hoping they would in those situations?
Absolutely. And there's some guys haven't stepped up as much as they need to, but I think they've learned that and had an opportunity, and they've taken advantage of that opportunity. Maybe right at that moment they didn't, but they made sure they got themselves ready to go in the future.
We talked about that 4th 8-yard line. How much did Devin Bell's struggles play into that decision?
None. I'm sure he would have made that. He would make that over and over. I don't know. If we would have lost the game, I would have been called a dummy. We won the game, so I guess smart. Whether it was a smart move or not, I don't know. It's one of those gut feelings you have. It was just looking at the situation. I just had the gut. I felt like, hey, this is a situation I want to go for. I think we can get it. Almost did.
Are you worried about, because you've talked about Devin from a mental standpoint, him trying too hard, trying to kick him too hard? Are you worried about losing him mentally after this struggle?
You know what? He's a pretty mentally tough kid. He's done a really good job this week of practice of not worrying about his technique, his fundamentals. He's been really good at practice this week. It's just working technique. We change one little thing in his plant foot with that. And, when you talk to him, he's very professional about doing his job. It's not like, the world's coming to an end. We adjusted one thing with his plant foot, and it seems to be helping. And he's very conscious of working on that stuff.
You mentioned this morning about the third down on both sides of defense and the 2-minute thing. How do you address that this week?
We've done some 2-minute situations of practice. You just, you just try to make sure guys, it's one of those deals you don't always get the intensity of a real 2-minute situation sometimes in practice during the week. So, this is an opportunity where we can turn up the intensity in that and pick some situations to change and work on it a little bit.
Last time you had a bye week, you gave you guys a weekend off. What's kind of the plan for this weekend?
Well, right now tomorrow's a Monday, Friday's a Tuesday, then they're off till Sunday night if the academic report comes back good tomorrow in my academic meeting. We're here to get an education.
You did mention trying to get some guys healthy, and how they come along now this week.
Good, we'll see. We've held a lot of guys out the 2 days we've practiced this week. And even the guys that are starters, they just did a little bit of more individual stuff and just 2-minute. Kind of choose what we want those guys to do and get a lot of young guys reps. So.
Working out there.
I think they'll do better in class now. That's all I got to say about that. I feel sorry for the boys. I know it's rough on them.
The kids have to go through something like that the first time. They're going to be reminded first season.
Coach emphasizes going to class and taking care of academics, and I guess they weren't doing that, so I guess I had to get checked, I guess. I don't know everything, but I heard it was pretty rough. So.
It's kind of like hazing in a fraternity.
Probably rougher than that.
Friends.
Oh, yeah. It gets bad.
Did you have that feeling when you were a freshman, like, hey, I wasn't promised promised this when I was recruiting.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of times I was like, dang, they didn't say this when they were at my house. I was like, dang, where'd this come from? But I mean, you just gotta learn from your mistakes and keep on moving forward. I mean, hey.
What's the first, how many weeks it's been like? A lot of injuries, 2 quarterbacks, 2 centers, the defensive line's been jumbled up and down. I mean, what's that time period been for you guys?
One person goes down and another person has to step up in that spot. I mean, football, if you watch football, football is a physical game. Injuries are going to happen, and you just got to be ready for your moment. Those backup guys, the coaches always tell them, you were one, everybody's in one. You'll never know when the next play might be your turn to go in. Anybody can go down at any moment, so you just got to be ready.
How impressed have you been with Chris, being able to step in and play for you when you were kind of out of there and just kind of take his role?
Man, the closest thing to Superman I ain't seen, man. God, man, he's a freak, man. I ain't never seen nobody like him. 18-year-old kid, that big, man, he's just raw. Just raw talent, man. When he gets his technique down and he's really with Bayless, I feel sorry for them guys across from him. That dude, he's a beast. I ain't gonna lie.
The games you've been able to play, how do you feel you have played? Because your season's been kind of interrupted so far.
I think I did okay. My ankle bothers me a lot, but I try not to complain. I try to play through it, and I feel like I'm not up to full speed yet, but I know the coaches need me, and everybody else is depending on me, so I just play through it. I ain't playing my best, but I can play good enough to contribute. It's just not up to the level that I know I can play at, so I've been kind of down. I was like, but hey, that's football. I just got to keep pushing through.
Expanding on that, how do you feel the defensive line has played now that you've got 6 games to look at?
I feel like we played okay. I feel like we show up. I just feel like we just try to come out there every day, Coach Turner, just try to pull for each other, because there's a lot of days where we're just like, another day out here. But hey, practice is where you get good, so we just try to stay positive and just keep working.
If I sat you down in August and told you that Tyler would get hurt the first game of the season, Jay Hughes would be out, Perk wouldn't get his first touchdown until last week, what would you have told me?
You're crazy, man. I would have been like, what? But hey, that's football. Things happen, things come up, and hey, people got to step up. That's
that it actually has been with the 7 weeks and just kind of the jumble in the offensive line, especially. What's it kind of been like for you guys having to jumble and play with different players, 2 centers, a couple guard, tackle, and all those guys?
It haven't been that bad. Just. Doing a weekday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday practice, and we have also Friday walkthroughs and stuff. So, it's just we get used to playing with each other and learning different fits.
This is an unusual bye week because with a Thursday game, you really don't get as much time as you would normally have. Is it good or bad?
It's good. To me, it's good. We still going out there and practice, and it's not the same type of practice for right now. But tomorrow we're gonna focus on Kentucky more. And so, I believe it's a good thing, not having too much time off, but we got a little break in there between that.
Staring at these SEC games all coming up in a row, what does the offensive line and then the offense in general need to do better in the second half of the season? We
just need to be more consistent. We have a pretty good team. When we play like we're supposed to play, it's no one that can stop us, So, we just got to focus on not shooting ourselves in the foot,
You've seen what all these skilled players in offense can do now. With the 2 quarterback system now, some young receivers coming on, some guys getting healthy and running backs, and the potential's there.
Oh yeah, especially the receivers and Bear, Deron, Jamie Lewis. we got weapons, and we got the 2 quarterbacks that can put the ball in position, to do so.